home. As I'd soon come to see, this was also to become the strangest and most tragic of all childhood days. Innocent and in pursuit of simple fun, I left home to walk to the circus, gawking at the various acts. Little did I know that while I was viewing one spectacle, a scene of another had broken out in my house. Innocence was soon to be lost. Leaving the circus and walking a block or so up our typical tree-lined street, I could see that our driveway and both sides of the street in front of our yellow, shrub-fronted house was packed with cars. It looked like a neighbor was having a birthday party or something. But the crowd was at my house, and it wasn't a party. No one was laughing. They were crying. Crying, of course, doesn't do justice to how I remember my mom. I remember something more like a phrase from the Bible: unspeakable yearning, wordless moans, and groaning heartache too deep for utterance. But what do you expect from a mother who's just heard that her beloved son has been killed and that we'll be sending home as much of the body as we can? As much of his body? How do you process that? I wonder if she pictured his little hands playing with toys or his greasy hands working on a '56 Chevy. Just what parts would be coming home? I think I was stunned into an emotional shutdown that, to some degree, I've had to fight my way out of ever since. I have no clear memory of how I felt at the moment I walked through the front door. It all hit me later. I remember being somewhere, it seems to me it was a military base, and hearing a commendation read of my brother. He had been awarded the Bronze and Silver Stars for bravery in battle. The commendation said something very close to this: Corporal Hunter left the safety of his foxhole to engage the enemy in a crossfire. In so doing, he saved many men. In this selfless action, he was hit by a mortar shell and killed. I remember thinking in my crude way, that's the biggest bunch of bull I've ever heard in my life. He had only been there a few weeks. Why would the same guy who, on one hand, used to beat on me in the backyard, me, his brother, on the other hand, die for a bunch of guys he hardly knew, and for a cause the nightly news says was a waste? I was really angry and confused. For months or years, I can't remember, I had recurring dreams of sneaking off to Vietnam to kill those gooks, as they were nastily labeled in those days, those people who killed my brother. In my dreams, I hid away in a plane to sneak over to Vietnam. Other times my hideaway was a boat. I don't remember ever getting there, in my dreams, and actually pulling it off. The dreams always ended in frustration. This time of intense, bitter, and perplexing resentment hit its peak in all places in the courtyard of the typical little Methodist church which my family attended. The people of the church had decided to give tribute to my brother by erecting a flagpole in his honor in the grassy area of the courtyard. If hearing the commendation read at the military base was a trigger, seeing the unveiled plaque on the flagpole set off a bomb in me. The commemorative inscription said in part, "Greater love hath no man than this, than he lay down his life for his friends." I remember thinking, oh great, now they're bringing God into it, as if he had anything to do with it. I remember deep within myself cursing the idea that there was anything worth dying for, especially for what, to my naive young mind, was a stupid war. I remember saying to God, I don't believe this. I don't believe you. I don't believe you have anything to do with this or any part of these horrible circumstances. I think my inward response was actually a lot worse than that. I know it was really bad, but the memories have faded. I don't recall hearing any clear response from God, just gracious silence. In hindsight, I think the grace must have been mixed with a big dose of understanding. I recollect walking from the ceremony with the uneasy feeling that I had not succeeded in putting God in his place. I remember thinking that the episode was probably not the end of a conversation that had begun with God. The next big episode came about 6 years later. By now it was 1976, and I was 19, playing baseball in college. A player on the team repeatedly asked me to go to church with him. He said the music would be cool. He bugged me about it so much that I finally said to Debbie, then my girlfriend, now my wife, "Oh, let's just go. What can happen at church?" My friend was right. The music was cool. The message was simple, clear, and Bible-based. Easy for a 19-year-old to understand. At the end of the talk, an invitation was given to